Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me this morning is Pat Fitzmaurice, and it's you hanging out, talking ball on a Sunday. What's better than that? I can't think of anything. Pat, we got a lot of injuries obviously going on today. We've got some news to talk about. Certainly, we'll get to at the top of the show. A lot of backfields in motion, as it were. We got Jahmyr Gibbs coming back, David Montgomery out. We've got a whole new cast of characters. The Rams are like one of those 80s soap operas that just decided to change all the actors and not tell anybody. So you're going to get Zach Evans. Darrell Henderson's come back. Darrell Henderson, Pat, is that character that, they killed off and some horrible death, and then they brought him back, and now there's no explanation. And Royce Freeman. So what do you do with the Rams backfield, Pat? Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Joe. It is messy indeed. And we woke up to the Adam Schefter report that Zach Evans, the guy who so many people spent a lot of fab dollars on this week, is going to back up both Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson. So sorry for all of those of you who spent money on Zach Evans, including me in at least one league.
We're most sorry for you, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm most sorry for you.
And the thing is, like, maybe the Rams just like Matthew Stafford's averaging 37.3 pass attempts per game. And that even includes the game against the Cardinals where he only threw 24 passes last week. So he's had at least 33 in all but one game. Maybe the answer is like none of these running backs. They're just going to pass a lot. Like I think I have Henderson and Royce Freeman ranked in the 30s. Freeman a little higher, and then like Zach Evans is kind of off the radar. He's like running back 50 or something like that.
Let me tell you, Pat, that's exactly what I think, especially against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been terrible against the pass this year. I mean, let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. The numbers have not been good for them. I don't. Maybe they can fix some things coming off the bye. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. But this is a lot of Cooper Kupp, a lot of Puka Nacua, a lot of throw the football. Maybe even Tyler Higbee gets involved. I'm with you. This is like a 50 pass attempts, even if they're up. Like, I'm still throwing the football if I'm them, or I'm just being super careful about it. But one of many injuries going on too. Trent Williams is not going to play. Deebo Samuel's not going to play Monday. So that's good for you're getting the sense of what's going on with Deebo now. Christian McCaffrey is still questionable. Kareem Hunt is a game time decision. So is DK Metcalf. Here's my 2 cents on that. Pat, my feeling is that DK Metcalf probably doesn't play, but Kareem Hunt does because his contract is incentive laden. And I think if he can get on the field, he's going to try. Do you think I'm following the money too much, or you think I'm onto something there?
I really don't have a feel for the Hunt thing, Joe, based on the reportage we've seen. So I'm that would be just guesswork.
Reportage. That's a good word, Pat.
Yeah,
you get that word. Is that a word, reportage? Because that's a good word if it's not.
But money definitely drives the world, and like I wouldn't be surprised if you were correct on that. But I get the same vibe on DK that you have, Joe. I kind of think he's not going to play this week.
Yeah, that's where it's trending. Now, does that mean that we finally get a Jackson Smith and Jigba game? Could that be?
I'm excited about it. I've got him up at like wide receiver 28 now, wide receiver 27, something like that. He's right around where I've got Jordan Addison. So maybe it is a week for the rookie wide receivers to shine.
All right. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Also, we're brought to you by Jack Link's meat snacks. They are delicious. They are fantastic. The protein snacks are going to drive you crazy. There's no better way to enjoy game day than with Jack Link's protein snacks. From jerky to beef sticks to the steaks, Jack Link's delivers 100% beef and a wild assortment of delicious flavors. Pat, I listened to you. I tried the pepper. The pepper was not overpowering. It was very nice. It was very good. I'm with you. So I've been converted from the teriyaki to the pepper. I also like these bad boys too. I don't know if you tried this, the beef tender bites. Have you tried these yet?
Yes, fantastic.
Let me tell you, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions in a row and then pop one of these in while we're talking here because they're excellent. But again, the sponsor of today's show, but also something that's near and dear to our hearts. We love the Jack Links. Go check them out right now. Go shop jacklinks.com or find them at your local retailer. Pat, I'm going to make you work while I eat. First question here is from Lee Smith. I can only assume former closer of the Chicago Cubs. PPR, Jeff Wilson or Zach Charbonnet? Which way you want to go today? Wilson on his return.
Yeah, and reports said Zach Charbonnet might not play today. So
Mhm.
I do think you have to play Wilson. Not a great matchup against the
Mm.
Eagles, whose run defense has been virtually impregnable this season so far. But in that explosive offense that can hang 30, even on a good defense, I like the chances with Wilson. Like you might get a big play or two. I don't know if he's going to get more than about 7 or 8 touches, but in this offense, that can be enough to make him a worthwhile start.
Nothing like the taste of meat at 11 a.m. in the morning, like 10:15 in the morning. I've been up since 6 anyway. Let me tell you, powered by the Jack Links protein. That's what this show is built on. All right, let's go to Kevin K's question. Hey guys, JSN or Deontay? Now, this might seem like a wacky question, but now with the calculus of DK Metcalf, it becomes far more interesting. It's a half PPR. So you go with Deontay Johnson off the bye, the veteran, hope that, he gets right back in there and does what he's used to doing, which hopefully scores more touchdowns this season than last year, but we'll see. Or JSN, which could be a bigger opportunity. This is a tough one. Which way do you lean?
Yeah, I mean, I've got Deontay ranked like as a low end wide receiver 3, which is about where I'd normally have him, maybe like a little bit lower just in case they're limiting his snaps just a bit. Maybe he's closer to like 75% or 70% snaps than 90 or 95. But I think the move here is to wait until we find out if DK is going to be active or not. Since these are both late afternoon games, he can actually wait. And if DK plays, I think you're going with Deontay. And if DK is out, I think you're going with JSN.
Sounds good to me. It's very good. Love the logic. Let's go to the next one here. AJ Williams, DJ Moore, or Chris Godwin in the flex in the full point PPR. I spent some time on the DFS show, and Debro really laid out some good numbers of why it's a good Chris Godwin day. DJ Moore is playing with a backup quarterback here. I'm leaning towards Godwin. What about you?
Yeah, that's fair. It's a really close call, almost in the coin flip zone. I do have DJ Moore ranked a little bit higher, and maybe that's giving Tyson Bagent a little too much credit. But DJ Moore, when he was with Carolina, I mean, the dude produced with Sam Darnold, Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater. Like it kind of didn't matter who his quarterback was. He was pretty quarterback proof, except for Baker Mayfield early
Mhm.
last year. But I know what Debro's point with the Falcons having the good outside cornerbacks, maybe
Right.
that funnels things to the inside. I still like DJ Moore just a smidge more.
Okay. Just a smidge more. I see what you did there, Pat.
Close.
Just because it's early in the morning, it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me at all. All right, let's get to some more of your questions here. Next one here on the docket, we've got uh, Polish Bingo, which is a great time. I mean, if you haven't played Polish Bingo, I don't know what you're doing. That's every Saturday night of my youth, Polish Bingo. Hardest decision to make, half point PPR, Zay Flowers or Christian Watson? Look, I love Zay Flowers, but I'm heavily invested in Christian Watson today against the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to say Christian Watson. What say you, Pat?
Boy, this is another one where I've got these guys like adjacent in my rankings. I think I
They're
have
both
Flowers.
startable for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, they're
and
both,
like
you know,
but as you said, Joe, the matchup looks so good for Watson. I mean, Denver just has not been able to cover this year. And, Detroit, like Baltimore, Detroit could be a really low scoring game. The second and
Mhm.
third best defense in terms of DVOA. So I'll back your Watson endorsement here, Joe.
I'll see your Watson and I'll raise you Polar Sausage because we're playing Polar Bingo of some kind or some kind of game. Great name, fun stuff. All right, let's get to the next one here on the board. We've got another question here coming in from FaZe Martin. Start Zach Moss or Javonte Williams in the full point PPR. This
I'm
one's
go
another tricky one.
Yeah, I'm going Javante here.
Okay.
Moss, I think we started to see Taylor get more work. It was closer to 50-50 last week. And I wonder if that gets pushed to like 60-40 this week. Like we know Taylor is the guy that he just got the bag, Joe. Like they want to give him the ball, of course. And kind of a tough matchup for Jonathan Taylor, too, going against the Browns. So yeah, or for Zach Moss. So
Mhm.
yeah, give me Javante against the Packers and their squishy run defense.
Squishy run defense. Hilarious. All right. Just a reminder, too, to everybody, make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. Drop a comment below because if you do, you could win this, a Christian Kirk autographed jersey. That's right. Right out of the gate, fresh off his touchdown on Thursday Night Football, Christian Kirk. This can be yours. Number 13. It's also October season. We just had Friday 13th. Everything just all one confluence of events, all just coming in one spot here. So again, like the stream, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, click that little bell till it goes ding so you know every time a piece of content drops here. And We'll notify you there if you are the big winner of the Christian Kirk jersey. Let's see who the next big winner is. It's Cosmic Realm, one of our favorites. Flex position, do I start JSN, one of the Rams running backs, or Elijah Mitchell in the PPR? And Cosmic says, thanks. This is a tricky one here. JSN is really intriguing, as, by the way, we just got a note from my playbook. This is why I have my playbook. This is why you should too. Mecole Hardman is expected to play today against the Chargers. How you doing? There we go. You could sense the touchdown coming. All right, let's get back to the question. Is it JSN? Is it a Rams running back? Or is it Elijah Mitchell?
Wait, can I pause to rush Mecole Hardman in all of my lineups before I answer this show?
He's not available. I was looking on FanDuel too. I couldn't find him. I don't know if they're going to put him in now that he's active, but you know he's going to score a touchdown, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, Mecole Hardman," and then he's never finished better than what, wide receiver 57 in his career or something like that. I mean, come on, guys.
So another opportunity here to wait, because all these are late. He's got, Elijah Mitchell involved in the Monday game. He's got the Rams running backs involved late afternoon. We're going to have time to see if DK Metcalf is active. If not, he's playing JSN for sure. If DK plays, I think you're going with one of the Rams running backs. And I've got Freeman ranked slightly ahead of Henderson. I just wonder if Henderson can come in, not being in hitting shape at all, not having played at all, although I guess the same applies to Royce. But Royce has been there. So that's why I've got Royce, maybe 3 or 4 spots ahead of both of those guys. Are like kind of low end running back 3s, high end running back 4s. But I think he is hoping that maybe DK is inactive and he gets to play JSN.
All right. Top 5 name ever on the live stream. Idyllic Mullet. I mean, that's gold right there. Full PPR flex, Amari Cooper, Godwin, or Ford. Which way should Mullet go?
I think I'm going Ford with the ambiguity about Kareem Hunt. And at best, Kareem Hunt plays, but not fully healthy. So I think it's going to be a pretty full workload for Ford in a playable matchup against the Colts.
I was very negative on Ford, but now I'm getting very positive as the Kareem Hunt news lags on. I still think Kareem Hunt will be active. I just don't know how active he'll be. So Ford is starting to become more appealing. All right. K-Dub8, Royce or Henderson? This is the end times, Pat. This is the end
Royce. I've got Royce just a smidge higher than Henderson. Not sure if that's the right call. Royce had a 43 catch season in 2019, Joe. So I think maybe at the very least, Royce gets the passing down work. But then again, it's the Rams, so I'm not 100% sure about anything.
I mean, K-Dub, the answer is C, none of the above. But I understand it's tough. It's tough out there with all the buys and the injuries. It's very tough. Bishop favorites, Stafford or Geno? I'm going to keep this simple. It's Stafford for me against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think Stafford's going to have a day. I really do. I love him in DFS. I love him this week. What do you think, Pat? Are you still Stafford or Geno? I just think the Seahawks are going to run the football a ton with Ken Walker and just be conservative, and I don't see this being a Geno push day. Do you?
I had been on the fence about this all week, Joe, and this morning I came around to your line of thinking, and DK.
That's probably not a good thing. I can tell you right now, that's probably a failure of yours.
DK Metcalf's ambiguous injury status also sort of pushed me over the. I was on the fence, and that knocked me onto one side. I'm on the Stafford side.
Jonathan Frazier, Jordan Love, or Geno Smith today? Another Geno question.
I'd still go Geno here. I'm just worried that we haven't seen Jordan Love play well since week 2.
It's fair. Jordan Love, if you're listening right now, and I know you are, just can you get the ball to Christian Watson 5 times today? Just 5 times is all I ask. 5 catches is all I need to make a lot of money. I actually probably need 2, but I prefer 5. Give me 5, okay?
Yeah, with his average depth of target of like 19 yards, Joe, I think 5 catches would do it for you.
Oh, I mean, look, man, Christian, I've watched that Denver secondary fail to tackle everybody for so long this year that Christian Watson's, again, is like watching somebody just blow, but it's just another class. And I think people just, they forget the longer we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And now, he's back and he's healthy, and this is the time. This is the place. Jennifer Hafner's here, our friend Jen. Hey guys, should I flex Ramondre or Godwin this week? Half PPR. In another flex league, Zay Flowers or London in the half PPR. So Jen's got Ramondre or Godwin. Which one you want to go with here? Godwin seems safer to me.
I think so too, Joe.
Yeah.
And what Debro was saying about maybe things getting funneled inside. Ramondre, like the Patriots offensive line is a little banged up. And I know the Bills run defense isn't great, but what has worked with this Patriots offense, Joe? You're a Patriots fan.
Answer, nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing has worked with this Patriots offense. They're terrible, but I'm
Yeah.
not bitter.
And with the other one, this is a minority opinion among rankers, no question. But I have London ranked. It was Flowers, right? That's who
Yes,
the choice.
Flowers or London was the second one.
Yeah, I'm actually going with London, and I know people have been terrified to use him ever since that shutout in week 1. But since week 2, London has been the wide receiver 19 in fantasy points per game, and he's averaged like 8 some targets. I want to say 8.2 maybe, and like 5.3 catches, 65 some yards. Like London is a week in, week out play. Like you should
Yeah.
start him every week.
It's a good matchup on paper too.
It is a good matchup.
The
Yeah, the
secondary there again's not great for Tampa.
Bucks have given up like the 8th most fantasy
Yeah.
points to wide receivers.
And he's really cheap in DFS this week too. And I was
Yep.
not really in on him. And then after Welsh made his comment on the BP show about him liking his prop on the over, which is also very low. I think it's like at 53 or something. It's very low. It's another one where you're just like, yeah, that really does make sense. That's a good investment. Low, investment to make. Laporta or Kittle, and this one's from Rich. We got to pick a tight end. Who do you want to pick?
Wow, that first world problems there for Rich.
I know. Well, the problem is, Rich, you got to trade one of these guys. I mean, it's week 7. Somebody had to have needed a tight end. You missed the boat. You should have traded whoever you get the most for. But we're stuck here. I mean, you think Kittle with Debo out gets a little bit more love?
I think he does get more love with Debo out. And Baltimore has been murder against tight ends this year. So it's a tough matchup for Laporta. I have Kittle ranked 1 spot higher this week.
Yeah. Cody Serrano. Hats for bats. Keep bats warm. Tyler Lockett, DJ Moore, or Christian Watson, my flex. You know where I'm going. Christian Watson all day. Let's go. I'm going to live and die on this hill today.
All right,
we got to. You don't have to, Pat. I know you're a Packer fan, so this hits you in all the feels. You don't have to live and die with me, but I'm in on this for better or worse. It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, split decision, Joe. I got to go with Tyler Lockett here, especially if DK is out. And I think even if DK is not out and plays, like this is still a pretty good spot for Tyler Lockett in a good matchup against the Cardinals.
Our buddy Tone Delegadio, 77 morning, full PPR start 2, Deontay Johnson and Tony. Those are the 2 choices here. I'm starting Deontay Johnson. I forget Kadarius Toney's there sometimes even.
Wait, did he say start 2?
I'm sorry, start 2, Deontay Johnson, Sutton, or Tony. I missed the Sutton.
Sutton or Tony. Yeah, Tony is the odd man out for me too, Joe. Like you just can't count on even if he gets targets, they're like within a yard or 2 of the line of scrimmage. I mean, like it's touchdown or bust for Tony, pretty much.
Can the Kansas City Chiefs, please, for the love of God, get Patrick Mahomes a wide receiver, please? Yes. Enough of this. This is they're Tom Bradying him. Andy Reid and them, they're doing what they did to Tom Brady. I just like it doesn't matter. We got a great quarterback. He'll make everybody great. It's hard. It's hard to do that. Don't do that. Give him somebody great. Or at least good. I mean, could you imagine if you dropped Devontae Adams, what it would look like on the Chiefs? Could you imagine if you dropped, I'm just like, the Amon-Ra St. Brown type wide receiver, somebody like, again, even those guys aren't available, but I'm just saying like somebody of that level. Could you imagine?
Even Jerry Jeudy at this point, Joe, and trade deadline is Halloween. So
I know.
Maybe we'll see it in the next 9 days.
I know it's in the division, but I don't think it matters. But
yeah, that's right. Denver.
But I don't think it matters. Like if you're Denver, you're so bereft of draft picks, you'll take anything, I think.
True.
All right, let's go to Joe 96, Royce Freeman or Deontay Foreman. I'm going Foreman here.
Oh yeah, no question.
This is easy.
Yep. Foreman. I've got Foreman in the top, I think 16 this week.
Yeah, Debro's in on him too. Run the football, and then run it some more. Jason Beckler, good morning, fellas. Full PPR. Gabe Davis or Jordan Addison? This is a tough one.
I'm going Gabe Davis. He didn't hit last week, and I know
which means he'll hit this week.
Exactly. And it's like, he's not going to get a lot of targets, but man, like he can do a lot with few targets. And Jordan Addison, the tough matchup, he kind of laid an egg. Maybe he bounces back this week, but I don't trust much with this Minnesota offense right now.
No, nor should you. Here's an interesting one from Greg Begley. Half PPR, JSN or Rushy Rice? Now, I know Rice is kind of like a fantasy community darling right now. People like a lot of the numbers going in the right direction. I like him too. Preseason, I was a big fan of one of the best free picks in a draft. But JSN is fascinating this week, whether DK Metcalf plays or doesn't because of the health.
I feel like I've given the same answer to 3 other questions, Joe, but I'm waiting to see what happens with DK Metcalf because this is another case where with Rashee Rice in the late afternoon spot, this person can wait. And hopefully, if DK Metcalf is out, I think JSN is an auto play in that spot.
So your answer is if DK Metcalf, I should say, does play, then you pivot to Rice.
Then I would pivot to Rice, yes.
Okay. He's Pat Fitzmaurice, and he approves this message. Let's go to Devin Richard, Jacoby Myers, or Drake London. Pick one.
Oh, London. Look, I know Myers has been terrific this season, and he's had great chemistry with Jimmy G. We don't know if he's going to have great chemistry with Brian Hoyer, and maybe Devontae gets the squeaky wheel treatment this week after complaining about his lack of targets the last 2 weeks.
They said they're not trading him, but I mean, Devontae Adams does not want to play for the Raiders. I think that's
doesn't seem that way, does it?
He wants out big time. Big time. And I don't know. I think he's going to get his way. I don't buy it for a second. I really don't. Exterminator, Buongiorno Paisans, Bipocalypse Decisions, half PPR, Latavius Murray or Justice Hill?
Justice, I have Justice Hill ranked a little higher. This is really close, though. Like it's a very close call. I've got him maybe 2 or 3 spots apart in my rankings. And just because I think there's a little bit more certainty of workload with Justice Hill, just a tad more.
Yeah. Tio Puerco, Love or Howell this week. Now, Howell's an interesting quarterback this week against the Giants. I could see it being Jekyll and Howell where we get the bad version, but the good version of Howell has been pretty steady for fantasy points.
Really good matchups for both, Joe, and maybe an even better matchup for Love. I know you don't like that Denver pass defense very much. I'm going Love. I still don't. We don't know if either of these guys are actually good. We've seen both of them flash.
I think I know.
These have been 2 pretty Jekyll and Hyde quarterbacks so far. Yeah. So this is really close. I've got Love ranked just a little bit higher, but I think it's almost in the coin flip zone.
All right. Brandon's got a question here. Lockett at wide receiver 2, or could start JSN at flex, or go with Jonnu Smith. So I think Lockett's the guy you're locking in, right? You feel good about Lockett. He wasn't healthy either all week. He had some mispractice, I want to say, if memory serves as well.
Yeah, you know what? And like if he is talking about like starting Lockett in one of those spots, and then it's versus JSN versus Jonnu, I mean, he won't be able to wait. He'll have to make that decision. I guess I just play Jonnu because you really limit yourself if you're playing both Seattle. Like if I knew DK was out, I wouldn't feel terrible about playing both of the Seattle guys, but I don't think you could do it not knowing whether DK is going to play before you have to make that call on Jonnu.
Hot take. I think JSN's a piece I want to trade for right now in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
I could see, like, as the season goes on here, the health of the other wide receivers, him starting to get it. You know, people forget too that JSN was hurt coming into the year.
The wrist injury. Yeah.
Wrist injury. So I think he's healthier now. This is a piece that I think it's going to be over tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow we're going to be on the waiver wire show. And we're going to be saying, well, there you go. JSN had 8 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown or something like that. And we're going to say, well, there you go. It's over. So if you could trade for JSN today, this would be a good time to do it because that game is coming soon. Brian S., full PPR, flex spot, Davis, Dobbs, or Rice. Thanks, guys. Great show. Thanks, Brian. What do you think here? Davis, Dobbs. Isn't Dobbs? Where's his status for today, too?
Yeah, I think he's okay. Although you might not know that because he didn't have a single catch the last time we saw him against the Raiders in Week 5. But yeah, I'm starting Gabe Davis here. I mean, I do like the Dobbs matchup, but you know, we had the rare miss week for Gabe Davis last week. You know, he's coming back with a big play this week. He's going to score a touchdown.
Probably. Let's go do the next one here, sir. Full point PPR, Jeff Wilson or James Cook.
Oh, it's Cook. It's got to be Cook.
Then pick 2, Puka, Ayuk, Zay Flowers, or Christian Watson. It's Ayuk and Christian Watson for me. Actually, wait, Puka's such a good one too.
Yeah, I got to go Puka and Ayuk. I mean,
yeah, it's Puka and Ayuk too.
Top 10. They're top 10. I know you love Watson, Joe.
Sir, you got to find a way to get Watson in that lineup, sir.
Yeah.
I don't care. 2 wide receiver leagues stink. I don't know why people are trying to play 2 wide receiver. Let's play 1 running back and 2 flexes and 3 wide receivers. That's a much better idea. That's where the NFL is at. This 2 wide receiver league thing drives me crazy. We'll go to Ruckus Shop. Desperation mode. Tony or Henderson in the flex, full PPR.
I'm gonna go Henderson there.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew it. I
Yeah,
like
I
it. I
mean,
agree. I
it's
don't
just
disagree.
it's more an indictment of Tony probably than a ringing endorsement of Henderson, Joe. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what if Henderson does get 15 touches? I'm not expecting it, but like I think the floor is probably 8 today.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, I think you're right. All right, let's go to Ben Thomas, full PPR. Baker Mayfield. Once again, doesn't matter PPR and quarterback. I love when people tell you the format and it's a quarterback. It's my favorite. Full PPR. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. Well, if they're catching any balls, it matters. But I don't think they are, Benny boy. I don't think they are. I love you, Ben.
Yeah,
Baker or Deshaun?
I'm gonna go to Sean here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Indy secondary has been pretty soft so far. So even like I don't really have any injury concerns about Deshaun Watson. He adds a little bit of rushing value. So yeah, I've got him ranked a little ahead of Baker.
And look, if you don't get your question on the show and you're still trying to figure out who to start, go to my playbook because it's got all the tools to help you with that, including my playbook's autopilot. If you're worried about making the wrong choice, then don't let autopilot make that choice for you. I got up this morning, I didn't know what I wanted for breakfast. I went to my playbook and it told me have the chocolate Cheerios and a croissant, and that's what I did. So there you go. So you just get up there and you use the autopilot feature along with all of the incredible tools, the trade finder, the trade analyzer, the waiver wire assistant, which every Monday we talk about on our shows. But use my playbook, use all of the tools we have available at Fantasy Pros, fantasypros.com/my playbook. It's only going to get tougher. Download the app today, sync all your leagues. You could also set all of your lineups in one spot, one place, just on my playbook. It's great. Go do it. All right, get next one here. We've got Austin Wilhelm. Morning, Joe and Pat. Who to start at wide receiver 2? Full PPR, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Michael Pittman, or Terry McLaurin. These guys are kind of all in that tier. I know Debro is very into Amari Cooper this week. We just had a conversation on the TV show about that one. Also into McLaurin. Pittman, a tougher matchup against Cleveland, and then Tyler Lockett, again, seems to be a solid one. So which way do you want to go here? Just a lot of like good, but no great option.
Yeah, I'm with Debro here. The Colts outside cornerbacks have been really rough this year.
Yeah.
So I think like Cooper he got over 100 yards last week with backup PJ Walker playing. Like Cooper is so undervalued. Really wanted to recommend him to the person who was trying to decide between Jerome Ford, Amari Cooper, and someone else. I like Ford just a little bit there, but here I would go with Cooper over those other
Makes sense to me.
receivers.
All right, next one's here from Justin Marchand. Good morning, guys. Here's a fun one. Full PPR. I'll be the judge if it's fun or not. Pick one for the flex. Josh Downs, Luke Musgrave, Jeff Wilson. I don't know how fun that was, to be honest.
It was kind of fun. I'll give
Is it
Justin some
fun?
credit with
Josh
that.
Downs, Jeff Wilson, Luke Musgrave.
All right, I'm not going with Josh Downs in the tough matchup against the Browns.
Okay, so it's Musgrave or Wilson. I think you're leaning towards Wilson, it feels like. This is the process of elimination. Am I wrong?
You know what? Did he give the scoring format, Joe?
He did. Full PPR.
Oh, and full PPR. I'm going to go Musgrave.
Okay.
Denver has just been battered by tight ends this year. Absolutely destroyed by tight ends. So, even though Musgrave has not popped the way we were hoping he would, I think this is a matchup where he could have a nice week.
Next one here is from McJaker, which I'm pretty sure was an 80s cop show, I recall. That guy was always he was such a rebel, out there in the 80s. McJaker. The captain would call him in his office. Terrible stuff. Flex CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Eli Mitchell. Well, here's the thing. I mean, you wait for CMC, don't you? You hold, there's not a lot of guys you hold your breath for, but you have Elijah Mitchell if you have to pivot, right? Isn't this what you do? You just hope for the best here with CMC, or do you just take the points with Jonathan Taylor?
No, if CMC is one of the options, then you're just waiting for the
okay.
Monday night game. No question.
Okay. I'm going to try to get this one right, and I'll fail. Damian and Demon Lopez. I guess they're a couple. Damian and Demon, they've been seeing each other for a while. That's when you know you're serious, Pat, is when you have your own YouTube name together. That's when a couple's serious. Like when you and your wife finally do that, then I'll really believe it's love. Eagles D or Raiders defense? Which one you want to go with here?
Oh, I'm going with the Raiders. I mean, going against the rookie
Max Crosby. Let's
go. Undrafted rookie free agent. Yeah, Max Crosby, who has not missed a snap all season and just terrorizes opposing quarterbacks. Either that or the Eagles against Tua and the high powered Miami machine. No way. I'm going with the Raiders here.
Since 1989, it's been really tough to be a Bears fan. I think we could agree. And you're a Packers fan. So it's been a long time where the Bears have not been good. Do you have any sympathy at all or empathy where you feel like just bad for them at this point? Like today's going to be bad. Just like put it out there. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, like I do like Bears fans. I think Bears and Packers fans are cut from the same cloth, Joe. But I moved to the
Yes,
Chicago
snow
area.
plows. That's what they're
Yeah,
cut from.
I moved from Wisconsin to Illinois in 1997, and I've enjoyed that the Packers have had the upper hand for pretty much the entirety of my stay in Illinois, and I'm not anxious for that to disappear. So, I'm not too sad about the Bears being downtrodden. Sorry, Bears fans.
Toon Raider. Should I start Justice Hill or Keontae Ingram full PPR? It's rough out here. We know, Toon. That's why
it is rough out here, man. Like I know Ingram got the bulk of the carries last week for the Cardinals. Dude, like Amari DiMercato played the most snaps of any back there. So yeah,
I'm going to be livid on Monday's show if Amari DiMercato has a get game. I'm just going to lose my mind. I'll be so mad.
It's a 3-man backfield by committee in a very limited offense. I'm going with Justice Hill.
All right, next one here. Matthew Palacios, PPR, Jacoby Myers, or Chris Godwin. Which way you want to go on this one?
Godwin.
Okay, CSP, Superflex, PPR, pick one, tight end, Higbee, Mayer, or Njoku. Man, now that's an interesting one. Mayer is an interesting play today.
I can't play Mayer with Hoyer. Like I know Mayer's usage has really spiked. I'm excited about the trajectory. I just don't want to play him with the backup quarterback. So it's a coin flip between Higbee and Njoku. And I think we're going to see Higbee's targets continue to wane now that Cooper Kupp is healthy again. So I'd go Njoku here.
All right. Next one here is from Matt Willman, half PPR, flex, Mark Andrews or JSN. Oh, it's Mark Andrews for me in this match.
Yep. No question.
Uriel Valdez, Puka or Ayuk. Another tough one. Flex in a full PPR.
Yeah, I've got Ayuk ranked higher with Debo out. I think this is.
I like Puka, but it's hard to not have Ayuk ranked high.
Ayuk's been terrific this year. He really has been.
Our good friend Patrick Kubiak from Germany needs a flex in a standard league. Patrick, stop playing standard league. Najee Harris, Drake London, or Rashee Rice. I like London actually.
I do too, Joe, and I'll defend him with the standard league. I mean, like
sure, yeah, it's fine.
Half point is probably the preferred way to go, but I think standard is fine. Like rewarding guys who the Camara rewards for getting like these short little receptions.
I love it. Look, I'm not saying you have to go full PPR, but at least go half. At least have a little fun.
Fair.
Life is short, Pat.
Fair.
Life is short. Half PPR at least.
Start London.
Half PPR. Start London. JLH, big fan from Tijuana International today. Let's go. We got Germany. We got Mexico. We got a lot going on. Should I play DJ Moore or JSN?
DJ Moore today. I think even if DK Metcalf is out, I would rather play DJ Moore than JSN.
Philly Fanatic 717, Dobbs or JSN? Philly Fanatic's worried about the Phillies right now. I can tell you that. It's just like, come back to Philly though, Philly Fanatic. Come back to Philly. You got lock. Take care of your business in Game 6. Take care of your business. All right, Dobbs or JSN?
My pat answer for the JSN questions here, Joe. He gets to wait again. It's another late game with Romeo Dobbs in Denver. So if DK is out, I'm going with JSN. If DK plays, I'm going with Dobbs.
The waiting, Pat, is the hardest part.
It is.
Every day is one more yard.
I love
getting it on faith. You take it from the heart. The waiting is the hardest part. RRQ89. Bipocalypse stinks. RRQ says, PPR, pick a stinky start. I like where RR is this morning. RR is in the right frame of mind. It's 10:40 in the morning, East Coast time. RR is sour, is not having it. Pick from this stinky group to start. Rashad White, Madison, or Foreman. Thanks.
Oh man, I am going with Foreman here against the Raiders. All these guys, like that's not the worst decision to have to make, though. I mean, if you're
no, but I understand. It's like, again, it's choosing all crappy breakfast cereals, right? It's like you've got the Raisin Bran, you've got like whatever else kind of generic wheat puff thing or something like that, and then just like it's not even the real Cheerios, it's just the O's. You know, like you're like, ugh, like this is
on the bright side. he's getting volume. Like Rashad White is averaging 17.2 touches a game. Madison's averaging like 16 point
So
something.
basically what you're saying, he's getting a bigger bowl of generic
Yeah,
cereal. What he's
exactly. But
getting.
I would go Foreman. The Raiders had trouble with AJ Dillon a couple of weeks ago. Maybe they have trouble with the power back archetype.
Maybe.
So give me Foreman here.
Our producer John is the power back archetype, by the way, too. Very, very
Absolutely.
powerful man. Michael G. He's doing a great job today, as always. Just a reminder, too, that our stream is brought to you also by the power of protein. That's right, Jack Links. The power of protein is upon you. And you can also partake in the Jack Links if you shop now at jacklinks.com or go to your local retailer and pick up some of Jack Link's protein snacks. They got so many different flavors, so many different things. We got the chicken. I haven't even tried the chicken ones yet. I've only been on the beef. Debro tells me that the jalapeno chicken ones are off the chain. So try them out. Get 100% beef in a wild assortment of delicious flavors. Again, they've got some alternate things there too. Lots of different, the teriyaki, the pepper, the plain, or I shouldn't say plain, the regular, old, faithful, old-fashioned version. Lots of protein, lots of flavor. That's what you want. Stop going for the chips. This makes you fuller faster too. Like you'll sit there and you eat a million of the chips. You have a couple of these, you're good to go. You're good to go. Jack Links all the way. Let's get to the next question here. We've got one from Michael G. Lockett or Moore? DJ Moore or Lockett?
I'm going Lockett here, Joe.
Yes.
And I had to make this decision myself in the Scott Fishbowl this week, and I'm starting
I'm so
Lockett.
far out of the Scott Fishbowl. The injuries just destroyed. You know, it's one of those classic things of, man, I really like my draft this year in the Scott Fishbowl, and I knew that was the kiss of death. It's a kiss of, every year it's a kiss of death. Whenever you love a draft, you're like, things went so well for me. Terrible. Owen Havoc. Here's a gross one. Jerick McKinnon or Latavius Murray for my desperate RB2 play. I'm going to play Murray.
Same.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, McKinnon is touchdown or bust. Like, you don't even know if he's going to get 3 touches in any given week. I think Murray is going to get at least, like, especially with no Damian Harris, he's going to get touches. I think likely we will see double-digit touches for Latavius Murray today.
I want to see if there's a touchdown prop now for me, Cole Hardman, because the more I keep thinking about, I feel it in my bones, Pat. I feel it in my bones.
Oh, boy.
It's just, because it's like, oh, look who's back. Oh, it's the one catch he has. And it's going to be like a 4-yard touchdown. What do you think that number is? I just found it. Take a guess. What do you think that number is?
Oh, my God. I'll say plus 850.
Oh, my God. You nailed it. That's exactly.
Are you serious? Oh, my goodness.
Pat Fitzmaurice, Vegas's own.
Oh, my God.
Pat Fitzmaurice.
Joy,
plus 850.
I can't quite follow you on that one. I like having money in my pocket. So.
Oh, no. Pat, you know how obnoxious I'm going to be on the look ahead show when I put $10 on that and I'm $85 richer just for fun. Oh, come on. This is fun. This is what it's all about. But yeah, I'm doing it right now. All right, let's get to another one here. I tell you, ladder bet Christian Watson. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't think I'd get another one I like so soon after Achan. I told everybody, like, I'll see you in November with these because you get maybe 2 or 3 a year, but it's here. It's here. It's today. I can feel it in my bones. Let's go. Next one here, Armando Cubas. No Roshan. Flex options are Hunt, JSN, or Henderson. It seems like JSN is the best way to go on this one.
I think so too. And we don't even know if Hunt will play. So yeah, JSN over Henderson.
Ron Smith, PPR, Christian Watson, or Mike Evans?
I'm not going to cross you here. Yeah, I'm going Watson too. Like I don't, a lot of people have Evans ranked inside the top 15 this week. I just can't go there. Like I don't feel quite good enough about Baker in this passing game. And I do think it's a much better matchup for Godwin than for Evans this week against the Falcons.
I'm so excited about my Mecole Hardman touchdown bet. I can't. Wow, this is going to be so good. So good. So good. All right, let's continue on here. It's nothing but upside, Pat. It's nothing but upside. All right, this is from Yannick. Hi, guys. Full PPR. Out of the 3, which 2 should I flex? Zay Flowers, Tyler Lockett, Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel goes to the bench in this one. I'm playing Flowers and Lockett.
That's fair. I agree. Samuel's been useful, though, the last 3 weeks, for sure. There's no doubt about that. And also, if you're making your bets, make them count. Bet smarter, not harder. Use the Betting Pros app, please. Again, it's just such an incredible tool. You can see all the lines, the best houses to bet them. You can also make your picks count, even if you can't wager in the state you live in, by joining our NFL contest at bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Join today. You can win a Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey. Something tells me that thing is going to be worth a lot of money by the end of the season. We're also doing weekly prizes and monthly prizes, so you can join anytime. click on the community tab over at our Betting Pros app. Download the Betting Pros app or just go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Join today. Pick 5 games a week. That's all you got to do. Not even games, just 5 things a week. Mecole Hardman, anytime touchdown. Pick that. Christian Watson, over 49.5 receiving yards. Pick that. Join. Who knows? You get upgrades to Betting Pros, to Fantasy Pros Premium. You also get swag from our shops too at Betting Pros and Fantasy Pros. We're just giving away free stuff. We love giving away free stuff, so get some free stuff. Let's go to another question here. Let's go to Gwiz. Gwiz, 1978. Javonte or Taylor?
I'm going Taylor here.
Okay.
Yeah, as we
I
talked
understand the
about
question
before.
because the Browns are tough.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Taylor is the better player. And yeah, the Browns are a very tough matchup, but we've seen the pendulum start to swing from Zach Moss back over to Jonathan Taylor. And right now, the Broncos' backfield is a 3-man operation. And so it's kind of gross. I know we want Javonte to be the guy there, but I think they're still being a little cautious with him coming off the ACL surgery.
Question for you. Who wins the AFC North this year?
Oh, man. I still have this weird feeling Pittsburgh is somehow going to get their act together. I know it's Joe. I know, but they're, believe it or not, they're still in the hunt. Don't
I know.
underestimate
They're
Mike
all in the
Tomlin.
hunt.
I know you can get odds on it. I mean, that's probably the worst percentage play out of any of those teams. I just have this weird feeling that Pittsburgh is going to sneak it out.
Well, they're plus 550. I like the Bengals at plus 420, by the way. The Browns are plus 240 and the Ravens plus 115 right now. But I got to say, it's all over the place. Crazy stuff. Let's go to the next question here. Dustin Peterson, half PPR, choose 2. Aaron Jones, James Cook, Jerome Ford, Zay Flowers.
Oh, man.
Do we have a Jones update yet?
Yeah. So expected to play.
Okay.
And I think I would go with Jones and Ford. There's who is the tough omission? James Cook. Yeah, I like that. It seems
if Jones is playing, you got to play Jones, I think.
I think so against the Denver defense, even though the Packers are a little bit conservative about bringing players back from injury. We saw that when Christian Watson came back, he didn't play full snaps. Maybe it's the same for Jones, but man, even with a dozen touches, I think Jones can make hay against this Denver defense. So, plus we've seen Latavius get more work lately. I'm worried that's becoming more of a split backfield in Buffalo.
Will Power, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Josh Dobbs.
I'm still going with Cousins here. Dobbs has completed under 50% of his passes the last 2 weeks. That carriage is turning back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, should be back soon? Question mark. The rest of the season, Kirk or Baker? Will also wants to know. I think still Kirk.
Still Kirk. Yeah. Eventually he gets Jefferson back and goes back to being a low-end QB1.
Michael Foley, pick 2 half PPR. Foreman, Myers, or London. I like Foreman and London in this one. What do you think?
I'm with you, Joe. Okay. I don't love Myers with the backup quarterback. We have not seen any. He and Jimmy G had great chemistry.
That is dump off city. Jimmy G is quick slant, 2 yards, throw the football. That's what Myers is perfection. Can you believe that the Patriots let Myers go and give the same contract to Juju Smith-Schuster? My head hurts.
And they gave Devontae Parker a lot of money too. I don't understand it.
Devontae Parker never plays. He doesn't do anything. Brad Puno, PPR, pick 2. Deonta Foreman, Jalen Warren, Rashee Rice. Foreman's in. Who's the other one? Warren or Rice?
I think I'm going. Man, that is difficult. I got to go Rice. He's just got more potential. And I know it's been frustrating that he's played only 38% of the snaps so far on offense, but I think that ticks up now with Justin Watson out. I hate that they added Mecole Hardman to further muddy the waters. And that wide receiver usage for the Chiefs has just been maddening. But I do think you get a lot more upside in a potential shootout with the Chargers.
Okay, next one here. Charlie Frazier, full PPR, London or DK? I think London, regardless.
Got to play it safe there.
And then Zeke or AJ Dillon?
Joe, I actually love Dillon this week. I really do against that Denver defense because, as I just said, the Packers are kind of...
That's good because I got to start him in a league. I'm desperate, so I'm glad you said that.
Packers are really known for being cautious and bringing back injured players. So even when Aaron Jones is totally healthy, Dillon gets touches. I think he might get extra touches today, and he's getting them against the worst run D in the league.
Next one here is Giovanni Del Castillo. Buys and injuries hitting me hard this week. Do you think CMC plays? Again, we don't have the crystal balls here. I would think it's leaning towards that way, but again, you have to have options. Don't know if I should start Mason, Jeff Wilson, or Henderson. Well, here's the thing. If you have CMC, Giovanni, you wait and you hope. Because you have Mason, that it's not like any of these pivots are great pivots. Like if your pivot was Jerome Ford or somebody where you're like, okay, we could understand that, or Foreman or something, but like, no, you just wait and then you throw Mason in and just pray at that point. What do you think?
I
I think
totally
that's
agree
fine.
with you,
Yeah.
Joe. And, like I have Elijah Mitchell ranked ahead of Mason. That might be a minority opinion. I think a lot of people think there's been a changing of the guard and Mason has passed Mitchell. I don't think that's the case, but if CMC is out, they're both going to get work against, like in a favorable matchup where they're favored by almost a touchdown against the Vikings. So yeah, you just wait. CMC if he's healthy, otherwise Mason.
Xavier Toledo, half PPR, Pittman or Myers today? I
Pittman.
think Pittman, yeah. Let's go to I am Bunt Tucker. I am Ben Tucker. I read it as Bent instead of Ben. That's my bad. I am Ben Tucker. It was all one word. I'm trying here, folks. Freeman or Judy?
Oh boy.
Good times.
You know what? I'm gonna go Judy. I mean, I know how bitterly disappointing he has been, and that Chiefs game was just like the absolute rock bottom for him. I hope, like it would be hard to go lower than that Chiefs game. I'm gonna say Judy just because so little certainty about this Rams backfield.
Next one is Ivan Manzo. Who should I start? TJ Hawkinson against the 49ers or Michael Mayer against the Bears? I think you
Oh,
got
you got
Hawkinson.
to start Hawkinson here.
Much as
Yeah,
we like Mayer, let's not go crazy here, guys.
yep.
Zach Martin, guys need help. Tyrod, Hoyer in the flex. Which one? Yikes. I think Tyrod.
I go Tyrod too. Yeah.
Run out of the pocket a little bit. Fernando Artemis, AJ Dillon, Keontae Ingram, Zach Moss, or start Aaron Jones with the Q tag.
Oh, I would start Aaron Jones if he's healthy over Dillon. And then, like if right now Jones is expected to play, if he doesn't, then you start Dillon and feel great about it. But otherwise you start Jones.
We're expecting to give away this Christian Kirk jersey too to somebody like you. So make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Fantasy Pros. Drop a comment or question below, and you could win this Christian Kirk jersey thanks to bettingpros.com. Download the BP app and go subscribe to that YouTube channel too while you're at it, because you're going to have free stuff on there as well. But to win this Christian Kirk jersey, all you got to do is drop a comment, like the stream, and click the bell till it goes ding for notifications before we head out of here. And a few questions. Don't forget, make sure you stay with us because Tara Roberts and the Welsh are going to pick things up after us. Continue to take more of your questions week 7 here on Sunday morning. Navarro Marsical, Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, JSN, or Drake London can only have one, Patty. Just one.
A lot of good receivers to have to leave on the bench. I'm still going with Devonta Smith. I know it's been disappointing lately, but still a fantastic player, and this is a potential shootout against the Dolphins.
Can't wait for that game tonight. It's going to be really fun. Kid Moto in a bad spot, McLaughlin or Jeff Wilson in a half PPR?
I'm leaning McLaughlin here. Again, messy 3-man backfield, but the matchup against the Packers is good. Green Bay has trouble stopping the run, and I think Jaleel gives you some big play potential. Plus, I think there's a reasonable touch floor. Like, I think he's going to get 8 to 10 touches, maybe not much more than that, but I think he might be able to turn those into a decent point total against the Packers.
Devin Barreto, Gabe Davis, or Lockett in a half PPR?
Lockett.
Josh Holt, Njoku, or Jonnu Smith full PPR?
Gotta go Jonnu. I mean, he's got more targets than Kyle Pitts this year.
God. Again, put Kyle Pitts on a team with somebody, please. They wants to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts. Kirk Lavender, Javonte Williams, or Rashad White?
I'm going with Rashad and his 17.2 touches per game. I know like he hasn't done anything with the volume yet, but like eventually that the volume's got to be worth something.
So you'd think. Brad Piuno, PPR, pick 2. Deonta Foreman, Jalen Warren, Rashee Rice, or JSN. Thanks for all you do. Thanks, Brad, for hanging out with us, man. So Foreman's in. So JSN, Rice, or Warren?
Foreman, and then we're waiting again on JSN, like the DK Metcalf news. If DK's out, you go JSN. If not, I think I'm going Rashee Rice over Warren.
Maggie's back with a question. Good morning. Deonta Foreman or Pittman at the flex?
Oh boy. I'm going with Foreman. Like really tough matchup for Pittman. I mean,
Yeah.
like the Browns can rush the passer and they can
Browns
cover.
are really
Like
good.
they're
Yeah,
tough.
Minshew makes mistakes. I love that Browns defense this week. Jeff Wilson, Tyler Lockett, or Josh Palmer. One more, and this is a standard league. So you
Got
want to just lock it?
got to go Lockett. Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's father, Royce Freeman or Jaleel McLaughlin, half PPR.
McLaughlin.
Doesn't even
It's
have a name anymore.
yeah,
Just
boy.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah, two committee backs, but I think McLaughlin's role is a little more assured than Royce's.
DPPR league, please pick one RB and a flex. McLaughlin, Edwards, Trey Palmer, Latavius Murray, Marvin Mims. So, again, you got to pick at least one of the running backs. So who's the running back that's in? Is it
Well, like
Edwards? Is it Murray? Is it McLaughlin?
yeah, so like it's between the running backs for all these. Like
Agreed.
yeah. So
Trey
it's
Palmer's the answer.
McLaughlin is in, and then it was Gus Edwards, and who was the other running back, Joe?
Latavius Murray.
Latavius.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Latavius over Gus. Like I don't love the
I
Gus.
hey, I don't blame
There's
you.
just not much of a ceiling for Gus.
Look, if
Like,
I'm the Baltimore Ravens and the Titans fall out of things here in the next 2 weeks, or the whole situation with the quarterback with the injury to oh my god, why? But Ryan Tannehill is bad, is really bad. Go get on the phone. Go get Derrick Henry. Go be the Baltimore Ravens. Go win this division. Like, go do it. Like that. That's
yeah,
that's the power move right there. If you could pull it off. Jackson Reese, pick two, full PPR. Ramondre Gibbs or Brian Robinson. I'm going Gibbs and Robinson here.
same.
Edwin Lopez, DJ Moore, Flowers, or McLaurin.
I'm going McLaurin here. I've got McLaurin ranked higher. Good matchup, and he's the one guy who consistently gets targets in that Washington offense.
Carlos Rivas, half PPR. Hunt or Jeff Wilson Jr.
Wilson, we just don't know Hunt's status right now, and even if he plays, he's not 100%. Go with the guy in the more explosive offense.
Continuing our international tour, Ryan C. Bonjour from Canada. I can only assume we're talking a Quebec province here of some kind. So Gabe Davis or Jeff Wilson, and merci.
Gabe Davis.
There you go. Mark Jones. Here we go. Mark Jones getting nasty in PPR. RB, pick one. Zach Moss, Darrell Henderson, or Craig Reynolds. I miss David Montgomery, he said.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, Mark. A lot of people do.
All right, I'll go with Moss here. Like
Agreed.
even though Taylor's usage is ramping up, the Colts running game has been really good. I think they're 6th in DVOA with their running game so far. Tough matchup, but I think they'll be able to run the ball, if not very effectively, at least minimally effectively today.
Alex Koutsakis. Gentlemen, thanks for the time. Rashad White, Pickens, or Dobbs in the half PPR? I like Pickens.
I like Pickens too, Joe.
Let's throw it against the wall, because you
I
know
think
what?
they're going to need him. The guy's a big play machine, man.
I think I want to roll the dice in the big play,
He's
because
the
as
best.
you pointed out, Rashad White is it's like running up against a wall 40 times. Like, what good does that do you? Give me
And
that one big
Pickens,
Pickens play.
by far the most talented player of that group, too.
Next up is forget about it. Full PPR, pick one. KJ Osborne or Wandale or Elijah Moore. This kept getting worse as we went.
KJ Osborne, I think he's the most
Agreed.
likely to get 8 or 9
Agreed.
targets of that group.
Ryan or half PPR, McLaughlin or Dobbs.
I think I'd rather play Romeo Dobbs in the good matchup.
Here's one from Anuj Patel. Start Rushy Rice or Deontay Johnson.
Deontay.
Yeah, like that. Come on, dude. You gotta do that. It's
Better
not a
play.
bro, but it's on the border of bro. It's on the border between bro and good job. It's somewhere in there. Let's do one of one. Chris, GM. I'm sorry. Good morning, guys. Not GM. Gotta tell you, my week 7. I need a nap. Pickens or Curtis Samuel this week. Now that's an interesting one. And then Moss or Najee Harris.
Oh, Pickens for sure. And then man, I'm going Najee over Moss, but that's close to a coin flip.
It is. These are crazy times. Luckily, we have the Fantasy Pros to take you through these crazy, crazy times in fantasy football. And it's going to get crazier in the next hour, because the Welsh and Tara are going to pick up the coverage right now. So don't go anywhere as Welsh and Tara continue to take your questions right here on FP Live.
Are we broing today? What's up, everybody? I guess we're broing when things are going down. I am the Welsh. That is Tara. And we are here to answer all of your questions for the week. So fill that in the chat. Tara, are we full on broed? Are we broing anybody that asks silly questions?
We can do that. Let's bro. We'll bro up.
I'm down to bro. All right, let's bro. John, are we down to bro? Down to bro? All right, John and I, by the way, are sporting our beautiful Betting Pros hat that you can get at the store. We are broed out together in the white hat. So welcome in, everybody. Hopefully nice and early for me on the West Coast. Hopefully you guys are all doing good, getting prepped for your week. We're going to be answering all those start and sit questions, really whatever you got. Make sure you're in the chat, filling that bad boy up. And as I always say, get it in early, because that's your best opportunity for us to answer your questions. The later the show goes, you fill it in later, it's going to be a little bit tougher. On Twitter, at It's Terra Time, at Is It The Welsh. That's us. Let's get to all the questions. Thank you to Joe and Pat Fitzmaurice. Jacob with the first one of the day. Gibson, Henderson, or Reynolds, RB2 full PPR. Jacob's down bad this week, Tara.
Yeah. You got to go with Gibson. Henderson is a theoretical possibility. Reynolds coming off of that injury could potentially see some work, but it sounds like Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get the bulk of the work out of that backfield. So, yeah, I think you got to go with Gibson.
Can you believe we live in a world where Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman are going to get the bulk of the carry? That's what they're telling us. I knew that Zach Evans was going to be fool's gold. I already felt that. I just didn't think that Darrell Henderson was going to come back. I hate this.
I love that world.
Do you like that? You like that world?
I do. It's a world where you can literally just come off the street and get a starting job as a running back. So it's a world of hope, positivity. That's how we're looking at it.
That's a good way to take it. I wasn't thinking anything like that.
Right off the street.
But the expletives and all this thing I was thinking of, but okay, that's good. I want to tell you Craig Reynolds, because I think Craig Reynolds could be moved into that David Montgomery-ish type of role, but he's been banged up. They've already kind of said they're going to be forced to put Gibbs there. If it's full PPR, Tara said it. I'm going to go Gibson. Gibson doesn't run the ball a whole bunch, but we could easily see him get 4 or 5 catches. All of these are bad options. Now, I will say, if you were playing insane upside, Tara, would it change? Would you go to like a Darrell Henderson, maybe assuming against the Steelers he could get a bulk of the work if you were just trying to play for this huge ceiling?
No, it's still Gibson for me, and the reason there is that if the weather really is that bad in the Washington Giants game, and we could see this reversal of the ground game being the primary focus, and then that means they have to put Gibson on the ground a little bit more. The the checkoffs become a little bit more valuable as well. So yeah, I think the upside play is still Gibson, given the weather concerns for the Washington Giants game.
All right, I'm down. All right, Robert asks, Alexander Mattison or Jaleel McLaughlin full PPR?
The volume will be there for Madison. It just might not go anywhere. So I am leaning towards Jaleel McLaughlin. Good matchup for him. He'll split the backfield. I do still think that Javonte is going to get the bulk of the workload, but McLaughlin's been productive with the work that he's gotten. So yeah, given the matchup, I'm leaning towards Jaleel McLaughlin.
Oof, I'm going to look here half PPR to see what the pros on Fantasy Pros, the consensus ranks are. We've got Madison at 18 and Jaleel McLaughlin at 26. So that is the difference between an RB2 and a flex spot. I don't love either of these. I come on here pretty much every week and I'm like, Alexander Mattison, I'm not a big fan, blah, blah, blah. And then he just gets like 18 carries for 90 yards. I'd probably go Madison, because Cam Akers lost usage last week, and I think that was kind of a telling sign as he had been moving up. I like Jaleel McLaughlin, but they've got 3 backs there. I think he's just entrenched as part of a piece to go along with Javonte Williams, where I think Madison is still the guy. So it's just, what do you like better, the partial piece in a better matchup or the main piece in a worse matchup? I guess I would go with Madison here. I don't like it, though.
I don't blame you.
Hate it. Don't like it. Yeah, we'd say it nice. I don't like it either. Smostrom says pick one PPR, half PPR. Pick one flex, half PPR. Lockett, Amari, or Foreman.
So if DK was out, I could lean Lockett, but we don't know that. We're not going to know that for a few more hours. So I think I would just go ahead and go with Amari Cooper.
I'm going to go with Amari Cooper as well. I think it's a half decent matchup. Lockett's intriguing because game time decision for DK Metcalf currently, but I think that just kind of moves up Bobo and moves up JSN. Lockett kind of continues to do what he does. I just don't think there's any like crazy upside with Foreman. We saw that last week. It didn't work. So I think Amari Cooper is the safe bet here as well. David asks, half PPR flex position. This is a great one. Zay Flowers or Jahmyr Gibbs?
This is a really good one. Oh, man. I feel like I lean towards going in half PPR towards Gibbs. And I do have the confidence that they are going to use him as, I think this is a definite 15 plus touch game for him. 20 plus is very realistic. They used him heavily earlier as a lead back when David Montgomery was out. Both him and Craig Reynolds were active in those games. I think he had like 17 carries. I see that happening again. I just need him to be more productive with it and maybe get a couple of receptions, and it'll look a lot different than it did earlier in the year. I have more faith in Gibbs than maybe some other people do, but I think this could be the game.
Yeah, in half PPR, Gibbs is ranked 14 on the consensus ECR. Zay Flowers is 19. I do my like big bets, and Zay Flowers is one that I kind of dig this week as far as his receiving yard prop goes. I think he's going to get the targets. He's actually kind of a sneak. His reception prop moved up. It was 4.5. It was pretty sneaky, especially if you want to pair it with something. It moved up to 5.5. So Vegas is accounting for this, this higher usage that Zay Flowers is continuing to see. But Jahmyr Gibbs in the feature role is something to get excited about. We know he can catch the ball a ton. If he's getting runs, big breakaway potential. I'd go with Jahmyr Gibbs here as well. Not to say that it's not close, because it is, but getting a feature back role with a guy that can catch the ball a bunch with the Lions, who might be playing a little bit back and forth, a little bit more defensive stoppage, I would go with that. Even though I like Zay Flowers, and I think Zay Flowers is kind of a safe bet, if you will, as safe as can be for this week. This episode of the live stream Q&A is brought to you by Jack Link's Protein Snacks. You want to talk about safe? Jack Link's has got you hooked up. If you need to feed your hunger, there's no better way to enjoy the game day and feed that hunger with Jack Link's Protein Snacks. From jerky and beef sticks to steaks and more, Jack Link's delivers 100% beef and a wild assortment of delicious flavors. It's just what you need to feed your hunger and your wild side. Shop now at jacklinks.com or find it at your local retailer. It is the floor and ceiling play of snacks on Sunday. It will cover all of your needs. It's really your flex play. So get into it. Jack Links today. Yeah, I think you agree with it. What was that? The giant beef stick?
It is the teriyaki one. I will not be diving in right now since I'm talking to you guys, but right after, yes, since I never get to eat my breakfast on game day. I always am busy doing shows and get no food.
Okay, well, after we'll feed the wild side after. Don't get too crazy here. All right, let's jump back into it. More of your questions, David. Nope, we just did David. Zaire, half PPR, Gibbs over Moss and CMC. Is this cool? So this is really a Gibbs or Moss question. Or no, I guess you're also doing it over CMC. I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Okay, so are you worried enough about CMC that you would start Gibbs over it and not risk it?
Nope, I'm not. And particularly because Zahir has Jordan Mason, who I still think it's going to be Elijah Mitchell. But, I mean, even if he's out, we probably see Mason contribute enough to where I would be okay with taking that risk and being perfectly fine with whatever I get out of Mason. So, yeah, I'm going to wait on CMC. And if worse comes to worse, I'm going with Mason.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that Devo's going to be out and miss some time. I think they're not that they're going to force, but they're going to push CMC to get out in this game. And I'm starting CMC as well. 50% CMC is better than, probably 85% of the rest of the backs that are out there. Jerry says full PPR pick 1. Jeff Wilson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Royce Freeman, or Darrell Henderson. One of those things is not like the other, Jerry. So can we easily just say Jahmyr Gibbs and move?
Heavy Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. Yeah, you're very good with Jahmyr Gibbs. The idea of thinking about having to start Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson literally makes me sick. So don't worry about it. You're good. Brett has a quarterback question. Geno or Howell? Sam Howell or Geno Smith?
This was easily Howell for me. I really liked him heading into the week. I'm getting spooked by the weather concerns. I talked about it earlier. I think I can lean towards these. If you need a safe option and you can't risk it, then go with Geno. But if you do need the high upside play, still go with Howell. He has got his legs. He could still see production on that. So Howell, if you need the high upside swing, but if you need the safe option, go with Geno.
Geno is ranked 7 on the consensus ECR ranks this week, where Howell is 11. I just don't trust Geno like that. He just has not performed at that level. And you got a game time decision on DK. You've got a really great rushing matchup for Ken Walker. Yeah, I'd go with Sam Howell too. I differ in this, and I'm not a big Sam Howell guy.
I'm so glad someone else was feeling that Geno thing, because I thought I was crazy. I was like, where's this Geno? Now, granted, it could be a great week, but I just don't have that level of faith.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, again, he could be fine. He's, I guess, efficient, but I feel like there's been a lot more downside this year. And like I said, there's just the matchup play doesn't overweigh like that. I don't trust him this week. And, Sam Howell's got his options. He, even in garbage time, the only thing I hate is I feel like Sam Howell has become like the Jamal Williams of quarterbacks from last year, where he's like very touchdown dependent, because like if you don't get one of those touchdowns in there, you could have it feels like almost a 0-point day from Sam Howell, but he keeps doing it, and he can do it with his legs as well. So we will be on that one together. Gee whiz, should I drop Jeff Wilson for Freeman so I can have the option of Osborne or Mitchell on Monday, or just start Jeff Wilson? So this is sneaky. So drop Wilson to have Freeman, which really just gives that option to start KJ Osborne and Mitchell, which I kind of love that, because I personally think I like Osborne more than Jeff Wilson this week.
Yeah.
I know Jeff Wilson could get some run, but I still think it's Raheem Mostert. KJ Osborne is going to get a lot of at least catches. And he didn't say what format this is, but if this is full, even more for KJ Osborne, I would make that move, especially because you also have Eli Mitchell. What say you, Tara?
No, I'm with you 100%. I don't have any kind of belief that Jeff Wilson is going to come back to a strong workload this week. So I like this as well.
Okay. Where were we? We were Gee Whiz. Ben says, would you trade Barkley for Pacheco? So just a straight up, no frills about what type of league. Would you trade Barkley for Pacheco?
I prefer Barkley.
I'm not so into Isaiah Pacheco. Buddy Bogman keeps wanting to sell on Pacheco every single week. I like Pacheco, but he's just another one of those guys that there's not bulk. There's not bulk there. It's got to be a really great matchup. McKinnon gets used. We've seen CEH this year. Pacheco's fine, but he's in a completely different tier than Saquon Barkley. But also the Giants offense has been so putrid that does kind of lower the volume of Barkley from a talent standpoint. Saquon Barkley is in a completely different tier than Pacheco, Tara.
Yeah, I agree with you. Although I will say I am on the Bogman side of Pacheco. I'm heavy in on Pacheco. I've loved what I've seen out of him. I love that they're trusting him with receiving volume here. I'm gung-ho, happy, love Pacheco, but it's not close. It's not.
Yeah,
so
they
I
love him with
lean
13 carries.
Barkley.
If they loved him with 20 carries every week, I'd be a lot more excited about that. Jerry says, full PPR, we got to pick one. Didn't we had this exact same question? All right, so it just slipped through.
Yep.
Jacob says, Amari Cooper or Jerome Ford? He's actually 2 in here, so let's start with that.
It's spicy, and I get it, because we've got Kareem Hunt, who could be out. I don't think we've officially seen. We'll know. But even then, so I think I still lean towards going with Amari Cooper, but man, it gets very close if Kareem Hunt is not playing.
It's going to be dicey. I was on the betting pros prop show this week, so I'll just give a heads up if anyone's watching it. One of my big 5 was under rushing yards for Jerome Ford at 55.5. If Kareem Hunt is out, I'm out on that bet, and that's going to stink, because a lot of this was built around Kareem Hunt's usage and how good he looked last week. The most recent report from Adam Schefter says that he's expected to test it before the game. So we'll see in pregame warmups what that does. Still makes it a little bit dicey, but if he's active, they're going to give him run. But regardless of it, it was easily Amari Cooper. But just my note on Jerome Ford. Null and void, I will tell Joe. Null and void for the show. Do not count that against me if he's there, because I would jump way off of that train. Even though I still don't think it's like the most awesome matchup to hit that. It's just having the two backs back and forth is why, because it was 55.5 were the rushing yard props, and that's moved up for Jerome Ford. So we'll see where that goes. Uriel says, Puka, DJ Moore, or Ayuk in the flex, full PPR.
This one is tougher than it might seem at first. We're nixing DJ Moore out because of the whole quarterback situation there.
Agreed.
But between Puka and Ayuk, it's super close because we've got no Debo confirmation already. So that's a done deal. And then with Puka, I just don't see where they rely heavily on Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson. I think we see a ton of short passes over the middle, lots of volume from Stafford, and Puka is going to benefit from that. So it's so tough. I think I say Ayuk, but it's so tough to bench Puka this week.
It is Ayuk for me. I think Ayuk is put into a really, really good spot. His receiving prop has moved up the entire week. He's one of those guys, if I wanted to, though it just doesn't pay well, but if I wanted to screw around and look at alt receiving yards, I would take, this is in the prop market, I would take a look at like 100 yards receiving for him. But I looked this morning and it was only like 1.5 to 1, where earlier in the week, I think you could have got closer to 2.5 to 1 for him to hit the 100 yards. I really like Ayuk. I think he's going to be a big force of this offense. Also think George Kittle's going to have to step up in this game without Debo. Love Puka, especially if this team can't run. I think the Rams version of running can turn into just those short dink and dunks, right? Just literally right, left side for Stafford to Kupp and then Puka. So there's always a possibility Puka could catch 9 balls in this game. But I'll go with Ayuk because he's going to be the big play option, and they don't have Debo. So, and they do spread, the Niners do spread the ball out well, even when like Debo's not there. Juwan Jennings, a lot better than people think, and Ronnie Price should be out there, and he kind of works the middle of the field well. But Ayuk is going to be the literal first target for Brock Purdy on every single throw, and he doesn't like to progress, so that works well. Rory says Deontay Foreman or Dallas Goedert in that full PPR. This is for a flex spot.
So even in full PPR, I still like Foreman this week. The game looks a lot more attractive from him last week if he got the opportunity to get that touchdown that they didn't run Badgett in. This is an excellent matchup. It's tough to ignore any running back playing against Vegas. It's been the remedy for literally every struggling running back, and I do think that Donta Foreman is a strong play this week.
Ooh, I guess I would go with volume on Foreman as well. I'm a little bit in the middle just because we saw the team really try to use Dallas. I mean, it was like first drive, like 5 targets in the first literal drive for the Eagles last week. So I just wonder if that's been a concerted effort. But the matchup is really good. Foreman should get volume in here. I'll go with Deontay Foreman. Pretty good spot. Another good spot for you is to win a Christian Kirk autographed jersey. This is your chance to win it right now, courtesy of Betting Pros, where you can bet smarter, not harder. All you got to do is subscribe to Fantasy Pros, the YouTube channel right now, like where we are. Comment below, like asking a question, and that is it. You've got it. You got the man on that man coverage. Remember, Christian Kirk dominates on man coverage, they've told us. Well, we'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when we got new videos, and you can claim your prize of a Christian Kirk autograph jersey. That thing is pretty sweet. Whole lot better than a Calvin Ridley jersey right now.
I was going to say, what are the odds? What's your over-under on the odds that we get a Calvin Ridley jersey giveaway?
I want to know what his odds are. I'd love to hear what his odds are for that one. I don't think so. I didn't think so. I'll take that Christian Kirk one for sure. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan's got full PPR. He needs 2. Eli Moore, Deontay Johnson, Jalen Warren. Pick 2.
I trust Deontay coming off of IR. The hamstrings coming off of IR appear to be a lot more intact because they get a full, nice recovery time frame. Think about Cooper Kupp came back to a full workload. We haven't heard anything regarding Deontay being limited. He's had full practices this week. I hear no issues. I'm trusting he's going to be out there.
Did you say the second one? Did I not hear Deontay and who?
Yeah, Oh, no. Two. Deontay and Jalen Warren.
Yeah, I think Deontay is the easy one here. Oh, man. I kind of like Jalen Warren this week, but also kind of like Eli Moore.
Yeah.
So what do you like more? I'm going to take the risk. I hate to do this with two Steelers, but coming off the bye, and I said this earlier in the week, one of two things is going to happen with the Steelers. They're going to reaffirm Najee Harris. It will have been built around reestablishing him. Or they're going to build around, we need to get Jalen Warren the ball more. Perfect time to start establishing that in the playbook, and personnel is on the bye week. So one of those two things are going to happen. How this has looked so far this year, I have to assume it's going to be more Jalen Warren. And especially on the receiving side, that kind of helps mask some of the worries with Jalen Warren because he catches so much out of the backfield. I'm actually going to go with him this week because also Browns are just bleh. So there we go. Josh Holt says Debo is out. Full PPR, Cortland Sutton or Curtis Samuel.
So I am going Cortland Sutton. It is a weird matchup because we know Green Bay's secondary can lock down if they so choose to do so with one receiver. But I will still go with Sutton, even though I think Curtis Samuel might be a pretty safe bet this week. Plays the majority of his snaps out of the slot, so weather should not affect him. He's probably still very solid, but very touchdown dependent. So I can lean towards going with Sutton in full PPR.
Boy, yeah, looking over the last 3 weeks, Sutton has 8 total receptions over the last 3 weeks, but he does have 2 scores in there. Not a lot of receiving yards. Curtis Samuel, I think lacks the upside. Boy, is he safe. I mean, I look, if they're going to keep giving me like 3.5 receiving prop stuff on Samuel, I'm going to take him because he is 4 to 5 receptions, 40 to 50 yards, and he will get targeted in the red zone. I mean, he is like the guy in the red zone. So I think Sutton's got the upside to your point. You know, if they lock down Jerry Jeudy and Sutton gets going, we've seen, you know, a few games. We've had the 8 catch game against Miami. He has scored touchdowns in 4 of 6 games this year, which is pretty impressive. I just don't think this will be one of them. I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel, a little bit safer. Upside play might be on Sutton this week. Daniel says PPR, choose 2, Madison, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson. Thanks, pros.
This will be the one time you will get me to say Madison and James Cook.
I am going to go with Ramondre and James Cook. I think Ramondre has had 16, I was looking at the 16 touches or more like every single game this year. And I think I want to see where this is on the ranks as well. From a matchup perspective, let's see, Ramondre, the Buffalo Bills actually are pretty bad as far as rushing goes. I think they give up their 4.2 yards per carry. I think it's around like the 5th or 6th most rushing yards to RBs. Big play for Ramondre. And Ramondre is 18. What did I say Madison was? Ramondre's 18, Madison's 19, and then James Cook is 15 if you're looking at the consensus rank. So I'm going to side on maybe Ramondre is getting a little bit more of the usage. This is actually just a half decent matchup for him. And I'm just not enamored with Madison, as you guys can tell every single week. I do love James Cook, though.
I think you've convinced me to change perspective on that one. I get it.
Yeah, let's kick Madison to the curb.
Madison is the volume play, but it's tough for me to get behind Madison this week. I'll yield my Ramondre Stevenson phobia that I've had recently. We'll go with him.
Boom, like kick. Yes. Remember that little football game where you get the little paper and you do the boom. I want to play that with Madison, just kick him over. What was that called? Was it just paper football?
Yeah, paper football. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Such a good game. You know what? You remember during like the COVID year when we all were just losing our minds and we were just watching like marble racing and stuff? I would watch paper football. I would watch a whole paper football game. Let's do, John,
Really?
John. Let's do a paper football tournament with Fantasy Pros sometime. Let's just boom. Let's do. I don't know how we would do that all mobile, but we'll figure it out. Paper football, guys. All right. So I got really excited about that. James Choi says Rashad White or Daryl Henderson full PPR.
We're still going with Rashad White. I know it's been ugly. It's not been fun, but we're still going that way.
I mean, if you get me to say Daryl Henderson, good on you this week, because there's no way. There's no way I'm going to say. Y'all aren't going to get me to say Daryl Henderson, especially not over Rashad White.
Daryl Henderson or Royce Freeman.
Oh, still Royce Freeman because he was on the practice squad. He was on the practice squad. I'm not going to go with Daryl Henderson, but Daryl Henderson doesn't know the team.
See, just years and years of time there in LA.
I don't know. I know he does know that. God, that's going to be so stupid. I'm going to be so annoyed tonight. By the way, if you guys don't, you should come and join us over on Fantasy Pros tonight. At usually it's between the end of the late games and the beginning of the Sunday night football game. We live stream recapping everything that goes on here on Sunday. I will be there. Joe Pisapia is filling in for Bogman this week. So it'll be Joe and I just getting crazy and nuts. We'll recap everything, fantasy perspectives, and how mad and angry I'm going to be when Daryl Henderson has like 18 carries for 120 yards and 2 scores. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So come and join us there, Joe and I, later tonight. All right. Matt says half PPR, Keontae Ingram or Jeff Wilson? That's a pretty good question.
It's Keontae Ingram for me. I know he will get some level of carries in that backfield. I don't have confidence that Jeff Wilson will see more than like 3.
I agree. I think Keontae is the sneaky guy. When everybody was demarcado last week, not that it was any of them, but it just felt like Keontae Ingram was going to continue to get the run, and I think he will. Though I'm not opposed to this team having the complete switchback where the snap percentage was in favor of Amari demarcado last week, that they might actually use him this week. But I think Keontae Ingram is just not going away. If demarcado leads in touches for this game, it's only because it's only with Keontae Ingram being like 45% of the touches. It's not going to be all in favor of demarcado. It would be like, 9 carries, 3 catches for him, and Keontae Ingram would probably be like 10 carries and 1 catch. That's what I think it'll look like. So Keontae Ingram is much safer than Jeff Wilson, even though best offense in the NFL. And if you get 10 carries in Miami, I don't know, you might be able to do some damage. But Jeff Wilson's also not HN. So that's what I say. Let's go to Chris, who says non-PPR. Start a wide receiver and a flex. We've got Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, Gabe Davis, Deontay Johnson, KJ Osborne. So we got to start 2. We have to start 1 wide receiver. And I guess there's 2 running backs in here. And it is no receptions.
So this is rough because we have 0 information on what level of workload Aaron Jones will have. It's a great matchup, but it's so weird not knowing at all if this is just, let's ease him back in, we'll get him a little bit of work, and AJ Dillon's going to get the bulk of the workload. If you need the high upside play, so we'll do your wide receiver first. For your wide receiver, I'm okay with going ahead and going with Gabe Davis, given the matchup and just feeling like that's the one that's the safest and offers the most upside. For the flex, if you feel like you need the highest upside swing, I would go with Aaron Jones given the matchup. Otherwise, I lean towards going with Brian Robinson.
I'm the first one. I'm very heavy on Aaron Jones this week. I think a lot of the videos coming out, him spry, dancing around, saying he's the best he's felt since any of the injury, is an awesome matchup as well. Very much about Aaron Jones this week. He was my touchdown play on the prop show. So Aaron Jones and Gabe Davis in a real easy one for me. Just want to update this as well. Schefter tweeted this out, it looks like about 10 minutes ago, but according to Adam Schefter, all signs are pointing to Christian McCaffrey playing in week 7. So anybody that is banking on Eli Mitchell, just be aware. Looks like Christian McCaffrey is positioning himself to play. Tara and I both didn't care earlier. We were still playing him, and that's looking like that is even better. So congrats to anyone that has Christian McCaffrey. But, if you got Mason and Eli Mitchell, still really smart to hold on to them. Nathan says half PPR, Ramondre or DJ Moore in the flex?
I would still half PPR. I maybe would lean towards going with Ramondre. DJ Moore might be a little bit risky there. Quarterback situation. I can go with Ramondre over DJ Moore. It feels weird to say that, but I go that direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think DJ Moore, we could see the 5 or 6 catches. I just don't know if we're going to see anything deep going this game. I think defense can press on the pass game, let Badgett beat us type of thing. So I'm not enamored with the Bears. And I already told you, I kind of like the big playability for Ramondre. This is actually a half decent matchup. The only thing that's going to hurt them is if it is just nonstop 3 and outs and they're trying to throw the ball and it doesn't go to Ramondre. But I would pick Ramondre on this one. This is a tough one, and there are definitely some tough decisions that have to be made, and you don't have to be so confused on who to start, even if you don't have us at your disposal, because the autopilot on My Playbook has got you covered. We can do the work for you for all of your lineup management with My Playbook's autopilot tool. It makes it easier to manage your fantasy team's lineups, get suggested lineup changes via email. You can have us auto swap inactive players for you, which I will tell you my favorite tool, just button that's been put onto any site in the last 3 years has just been like where you hit the boom and it starts all active players, especially in baseball and basketball. This is almost like the same. And maybe the most valuable tool, especially if you play in tons of leagues, or you can use the full autopilot, which it will set the optimal lineup for you automatically every week. So if you've got that done, it can set all optimal lineups, and then you can just go in and you can do the tweaks. Or you got a question, then take that one question, bring it over to us on the live streams, and we'll help you out. Use autopilot at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or on the Fantasy Football My Playbook app for both peace of mind and the best shot at victory each week. Autopilot, baby. Let's do it. It's like the Tesla or the Waymo. I saw, dude, I was at, just real quick, I was at Arizona Fall League is out here, baseball, if you football people care. I was at a stadium, on the back end of a stadium before a game started, and a player was it's with the Cubs, and the player was walking down this long path, and they have to literally cross the street, and then they walk into the stadium. The player was walking like almost to the street, and one of those Waymo cars just flew by, and there's no one in it. It's those creepy cars that there's no human being in it, and they just drive around themselves, and they're terrifying. And it didn't like almost hit the player, but it was just like, whoom, and the player just stopped, and we all looked, and he looked at us. He's like, was there someone in that car? It's like, no, it's one of the crazy, creepy ghost cars out there. So what I'm trying to say is this autopilot is a technology we need on our fantasy lineup and not our cars, because I'm terrified of cars without people in them. Bad things are going to happen. All right. That player was Max Muncy, by the way, with the A's, if anybody cared. Arthur, Moss or Kareem Hunt in PPR? So Zach Moss or Kareem Hunt?
I mean, Zach Moss, not feeling confident that Kareem Hunt is going to be a full go, even if he's a go.
Yeah, Zach Moss, easy here. Gabrielle says, bros. Well, we are broing here. Cousins, Stafford, or Sam Howell. So we're doubling down. We're getting off of Howell, and we're adding in Cousins and Stafford.
It is Stafford for me. Again, I think that there's just going to be a ridiculous amount of volume through the air.
Yeah, it is also Stafford for me. Bogman and I, we do this pentathlon league with Derek Van Riper from The Athletic. And it's a great league because you do all the different stuff. You have to do one, it's a super flex. We drafted auction. You got a best ball. You have a DFS. You have to do your pick'ems and a survivor. You have to do one every single week. And Bogman and I have to convene on the DFS lineup. And we constructed it the other day, and we were arguing about Stafford. He wanted Goff. I hate the matchup. I want Stafford versus his Steelers. He's just determined that the Steelers are going to win this week. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. The Rams can't run. They're going to throw the ball 4 million times. There's going to be completions. He's going to have 2 touchdowns. It's Stafford for me, Bogman. And I also superseded the lineup and put Stafford in. So Don't tell him.
There we go.
All right. Let's see. Good morning, guys. Thanks for what you do. This is S. Delanage. Thanks for what you do. You're welcome. Thank you for you. Full PPR sit 2. Puka, Lockett, Pickens, Godwin, Gabe Davis. So we have to sit 2 of these guys. We're not sitting Puka. I'm already saying that. But what about the others?
It's the boys at the back of the list. It is Godwin and Gabe Davis.
Godwin, I don't think I can. I gotta sit Pickens, and dang, I'm gonna have to sit. I don't want to sit Gabe Davis. I'm gonna sit Gabe and Pickens. I can't sit Godwin. I can't sit Lockett, and I'm not sitting Puka. So we agree that Gabe Davis is being sat. Just a little disagreement on the second one for you there, Delanage. So hopefully that gets you going. David says Njoku or Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith. I think I squeaked on that one. Jonnu Smith. I'll say it more confidently.
Were you confident about it? Are you confident about it, or are you not sure?
Like had a little like 13-year-old boy voice change there. I was not very confident.
I probably would go Njoku for the safe option. But I'm also like really stupidly obsessed with Drake London this week. So it's going to pay off or it's going to be bad. Drake London is one of my favorite of the I am holding back from ladder betting him right now. And that's what's it's really hurt me. I am trying not to ladder bet him, and it might happen because his receiving yards are low. Bucks give up big wide receiver yards to number 1 wide receivers. They give up over 100 yards in 3 of the last 4 games to the number 1. It's just the Falcons are stinky. This is all to come back to saying John is fine. But I don't know, Njoku, I might trust. Plus, as John just pointed out to me, us officially active Deshaun Watson. He's officially active in this game. So that bodes a little bit better for the receiving options there. So I'm going to go with Njoku. Brandon says, pick one, London, Metcalf, or Addison. Oh my God, my 2 children, London and Addison. Thank you for your help. You take this, Tara.
No, I should make you kick one of your kids to the curb.
Well, I only get to pick one. My 2 kids, London and Addison, like, yeah, unless I just take DK, which I'm not. I think DK is the worst of this list because he's banged up. So one of my children has to go.
Yeah. And I think I'm picking London on this one, unfortunately.
You're kicking London?
No, it's pick one, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I thought, you said unfortunately, so I thought you were kicking him. But because I agree.
I think bad for Addison. Yeah.
I do too. I want him to succeed. And, last week, I guess he saved us from a fantasy standpoint by scoring that touchdown. I'm also just moronic with it. I rebet Addison's receiving yard prop again this week because I just think it's going to smash. And, but London is my obsession. So I'm going to go with London. So that's our pick. It's a joint pick. London, the favorite child. Alex says, howdy fantasy pros in full PPR. Please help me pick 2, JT, Zay, or Amari Cooper. So Jonathan Taylor and Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it is full PPR, and so that is Zay Jones' bread and butter. But I would still go with Jonathan Taylor and Amari. Well, you can't sit JT. It's such a bad matchup. But yeah,
JT struggle. The struggle was real on that one. So I don't know. I think first thought, best thought, JT, Amari Cooper for me. That was what I immediately went with. So I'll go with that. Classic says, can I drop Josh Downs for Luke Musgrave? No.
Yes. If you need a tight end. I mean, like if it's the decision between you starting Luke Musgrave or who's someone really shaky at tight end? Maybe you're
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden, or even like you're more positive on David Njoku, but I'm not. I think there's a big gap there. So if it's the decision of a bad start, I will say drop Josh Downs for Luke Musgrave.
This is like a 10-team league. Like maybe you can if. But I don't know. I think Josh Downs, I think, is a huge safe option moving forward with Minch. I think Minch is just going to 7-8 targets every single game. I really like him. I don't like Musgrave that much. I think he's just in a glob of tight end guys that are. I mean, I would rather Michael Mayer than Luke Musgrave this week. I think Michael Mayer is sneaky. He has had 2 straight weeks of being sneaky. He's being used more in that offense. This is a really good tight end matchup this week. But I just think those guys kind of always exist. Taysom Hill would have been sitting out there as well. He's looked good. So I just would rather not drop who I think can be a wide receiver 3 for a back end tight end. But to your point, to what Tara's point was, maybe you're stuck. Maybe you just got garbage options and you need a tight end. Then okay, I guess you could, but I'd prefer not to if I could. Jim says, does Ridley have to ride the bench until further notice after what happened last Monday?
Oh man. That is 100% dependent on, I'm stalling so I can actually like pull up and see who they have on.
I think the answer is yes.
Because,
I don't think it matters who they have. He just is not, he's not good. He's not that good.
Yeah. That's Pittsburgh next.
Oh man, that's such a good matchup.
That's why it's Pittsburgh and then a bye week and then San Francisco. This is
an
ugly little.
I think Pittsburgh's kind of a man defense, and that works well for Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
but Patrick Peterson is the worst cornerback in the league, and he's going to be up on Ridley. I don't know, man. I don't see how you can trust him. He continuously disappoints. Lots of drop passes. Can't find great separation anymore. Kirk is safe, and it seems like that offense has moved from big plays to just kind of being to check around the middle, and Ridley doesn't play in the middle. If you're going to play Ridley, this is the week. It's similar. We've said this a couple times the last couple weeks. Like sometimes these guys, when we're out on them, they're in these positions where it's like, if you're going to do it, this is the place to do it. Guess what? Next week, that's when you're going to do it. So maybe it's going to be matchup dependent. Come back next week, give us your options, and we'll see if we say Ridley. I don't know if we will. I feel like I won't. DJC says, y'all are the best in the game. Thank you. Half PPR, Rashee Rice, Najee, or Jordan Addison?
Ooh. In half PPR, I can get down with Jordan Addison on this one.
Addison. This is Addison for me. Show. I do like Rashee Rice. He was my secondary touchdown, anytime touchdown play on the prop show this week. He's like 2.5 to 1. He gets used a ton, 9 targets in the red zone, by the way. Number 1 Chiefs wide receiver used in the red zone. Also has 7 catches in the red zone. So when they get there, Mahomes is obviously looking for Kelsey 1, but Rashee Rice 2. All that said, Jordan Addison is also a red zone option and a deep play guy. And maybe Kirk Cousins will wake up this week and get him the ball and check down to his second option and not just look at KJ Osborne this week. But also, hopefully, he has negative 400 passing yards versus my 49ers. So that's my hope. Raymundo says Zay Flowers or Puka in PPR.
It's Puka this week.
Puka, even though I like Zay Flowers. Easy says, hey, good morning. Happy NFL Sunday. Musgrave or Kyle Pitts? Is this part of your globby tight ends that you would go drop Josh Downs for Musgrave if you had Pitts?
No, I mean, we've seen the usage from Kyle Pitt. Now, I'm mildly concerned this week, I will say, just because Ritter, like, we might have reached the point at which the leash is getting pulled right back in on Ritter after last week's performance with the interceptions. But we've seen solid work out of Kyle Pitts, so I'm still sticking with the Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I'd go with Kyle Pitts on this one, but it's a fun question. John has let us know. This is our Adam Schefter, by the way. John, who is the A+ producer. I mean, really, you guys don't get the treat of working with John like we do. You just get the treat of all the amazingness that is done around us. So we don't. So it makes us look better. John is also playing Adam Schefter, and he says Jahmyr Gibbs officially active this week. So everybody feel free. A little bit more curious about Craig Reynolds. Is Craig Reynolds officially active or not? I trust in Jahmyr, but Jahmyr is there. So if you see that, let us know too, John. I'll be very, very curious. Also, if you guys want to get down with some picks, we got you covered at Betting Pros with our NFL contest. Users, you can join up by visiting a community tab over on Betting Pros app or going directly bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And you can start. Plenty of you guys will be out there and be like, I could do better than blah, blah, blah. I could do better than blah, blah, blah. Then do it. Be better. You can do that with all of your picks. Make your picks on Betting Pros. This contest, we have weekly and full season to date leaderboards. Weekly, we got to have at least 5 NFL picks from you to qualify for that week. And for season, we've got to have at least 100 picks. We're giving away a Jackson Smith and Jigba autographed jersey. We've got numerous weekly and monthly prizes, swag from Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros. Pick up hats and the shirts. You can also get a 1-year premium upgrade on both apps. Put it to the test with the NFL group contest today. Right there, you can see it on the screen. Join up over on bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Be better. There's no reason. Just be better than everybody else. And you literally can be on paper and you can share it. And maybe Fantasy Pros would be like, oh, hey, maybe we need to have you on a show. By the way, Reynolds active this week. Oh, baby. I think Craig Reynolds is getting some of that early David Montgomery looks. I think you're going to see some drives that start with Craig Reynolds, and it's going to annoy you. What'll annoy you even more is if drives end with Craig Reynolds. I think short yardage stuff will be used there. That was my worry, but we'll see. Maybe it won't be too crazy used. All right, let's get back to your guys' questions. Stuart says Henderson or Moss. Moving on, Stuart. James Cook. R. Austin says James Cook or Stevenson half PPR.
I like Stevenson this week. Or sorry, Cook this week.
I do like Stevenson this week, but yeah. I'm always on Cook. If I wish there was someone that would go away, it's Latavius Murray. I wish he would go away. I am so sick of it. And we all get that where we're like, why can't this guy get everything? To me, that's James Cook. I'm so sick of him getting 13 carries every single week. Give him 20. He's just better. Is he going to break down? I don't know. All right. Ruben, Watson or Stafford at quarterback this week?
Stafford.
Easy Stafford. Watson. Josh says full PPR. We're getting into lightning mode here in about 4 minutes, just to let everybody know. Full PPR need a wide receiver and a flex. Wan'Dale Robinson, Josh Palmer, Jeff Wilson, Jaylen Warren. One wideout and one flex. That is Palmer and Warren for me this week.
I am going the exact same way.
Okay. Josh says Craig Reynolds or Jerick McKinnon now that we know Reynolds is active. Does that do anything for you?
No, I honestly still would go with Jerick McKinnon. I get that. I genuinely think that they are going to give the bulk of the workload to Jahmyr Gibbs and Jerick McKinnon. Given that matchup, I think that we could see him contribute as well against LA. It's just going to be a high scoring affair. So yeah, I lean towards Jerick McKinnon being the person who's going to give you more bang for your buck.
We're on opposite sides. I'm Craig Reynolds. I think he's going to be a problem. This week. Marcus only wants to talk to you, Tara. Says, hey, Tara, on a 3-game skid, should I flex Jonathan Taylor or Ramondre Stevenson in half PPR? Said I had benched Taylor, but now ECR has him ahead of Stevenson. So I'm not allowed to answer. This is only you.
Hi, Marcus. It is Jonathan Taylor. Yep, go ahead and bring Jonathan Taylor back into the starting lineup. We're seeing more volume, so we're trusting it. We're going that direction. I know it's a bad matchup, but it's Jonathan Taylor.
All right. Davin says Josh Palmer or Deontay Johnson half PPR.
It's closer than you would think, especially in half PPR. I'm still okay with going with Deontay, but man, it's rough to say no to Palmer because he should have had a much better game last week, and I do think he's a major piece of that offense.
Let's take a look here on the consensus ranks over on Fantasy Pros, which you guys can go and check now. The ECR, where both of all of us, everybody else in the industry is there. You can check what the average is for all of our ranks. And would you look at this? Deontay and Palmer are 30 and 31 in favor of Deontay. So that is the half PPR ECR rank of these two guys. And I would go with Deontay as well, if you're asking me. Garrett says PPR, Moss or Tutu in the flex. Lots of buys and injuries. Will this be the week, JT? I guess it's a 2-part question here. So Moss and Tutu. I guess it was more about like, is JT going to take over and Moss going to disappear? I'm not sure that's 100% relevant even when talking about Tutu, because Atwell's like usage has gone down with the Rams, obviously. But I guess if JT takes completely over and Moss became irrelevant, you'd be concerned. Otherwise, this is Zach Moss.
I still think it's Zach Moss, but I'm not mad at the Tutu direction because, again, I genuinely think the pass volume is going to be high. And don't forget that Tutu does have the occasional rushing upside. So I would not be shocked if they get near the goal line or something and they run some kind of trick play with Tutu and he gets a touchdown.
Yeah, they do use Tutu as like their Debo Samuel, that Debo Samuel role that's out there. According to John Schefter here, Daniel Jones officially active as well. If you guys are, we're getting some of these good pieces. No,
Inactive.
inactive. Oh, inactive. Sorry, I
Inactive.
can't read. I'm dumb. Super dumb. Can't read. Yeah, look at that. It says inactive. I read that and I said, nope, active. Inactive. Even worse. Even worse. Oh, God, the Giants are unwatchable right now. All right.
Yeah.
Carter says, I literally just can't read. Why am I hosting? Aaron Jones, Drake London, Deontay Johnson, PPR.
I will say you read better than me. You read the names better than me. I would get yelled at my like butchering of names.
I just like my brain processes things in one instant way. So when I read that, like I have this arm that has a camera, it blocked inactive. So to me, I was like, oh, he's active. Let's go. Hey, he's active. Everybody, breaking news. So my brain did not process like incorrect information. But Aaron Jones, Drake London, Deontay for 1 in PPR. That's tough because I've talked up Drake London.
Yeah.
I love Aaron Jones, but you've also mentioned maybe concerns about what his usage looks like.
Yeah.
And Deontay's not sexy, but he definitely can pull down, 7 or 8 targets in a game. So what side would you lean on for Carter here?
PPR does make this trickier. I can get on board with Aaron Jones here for the fact that it is PPR, and Aaron Jones' floor in this instance is probably looking very similar to Drake London, so I can lean that direction and feel okay with it.
I'm going with Aaron Jones here as well. Like I really believe like London can have a bigger game, and I'm probably going to stupidly put money down on more of it. I've already just bet his normal, but I might put some more. But Aaron Jones, just if he is what he usually is, he's a touchdown option. He's going to catch balls out of the backfield. He's going to be a primary rusher outside of a few that are going to go to AJ Dillon. It's Aaron Jones for me for sure. All right, I think it's lightning round time. I didn't even realize we're on like the 8-minute warning here. So let's go into lightning round. We will be rapid fire answering your questions. Curtis Samuel, Josh Downs, PPR.
Curtis Samuel.
Full PPR, Michael Pittman or Christian Watson?
Christian Watson. Yeah, Christian Watson.
Christian Watson for the ladder bet we talked about. Go over to Betting Pros to check out the prop video this week. Tyler Lockett or Jahmyr Gibbs?
Ooh. But it says already have Geno and Walker. That's a whole lot of Seattle.
That's a lot of Seattle. That's someone from Washington.
Yeah,
definitely.
I can get behind Jahmyr Gibbs over Lockett for that reason.
Yeah. I mean, you're clearly a Seahawk homer, which is okay, but yeah, this is Jahmyr Gibbs. Definitely Jahmyr Gibbs. Half PPR, Jameson Williams, Quentin Johnston, or Eli Moore?
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, we'll go with Moore. Jameson Williams is he's all or nothing. It's literally an all or nothing play. Full PPR, Cook or Ford, Godwin or Moore?
Oh man.
Cook
for now, but if we have any news about Kareem Hunt not being there, I can go with Ford, and then Godwin. So yeah.
Okay, so Cook and Godwin for both of us. Shannon, DJ, Samuel, Osborne, or Deontay? PPR.
Oh, Curtis Samuel. Sorry, the D and the Samuel got me like thrown
But
off.
the DJ might be DJ Moore. That might be DJ Moore.
I think DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Osborne, and Deontay Johnson. I am okay with going with Deontay Johnson here.
I'm going to go with DJ Moore. Cousins, Love, or Howell. I guess we haven't had this iteration. I go with Cousins.
Yeah, you'll disagree with me. I'm going Love. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a good matchup. Just, can disappear sometimes. Half PPR, sit 1, Gibbs, Javonte, Deontay Foreman, or Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going to sit Deontay Foreman.
I'm sitting Williams.
You're going to start Deontay Foreman?
Where's it? Sit 1, right?
Yeah. That means you are playing Deontay Foreman.
No Khalil. Yeah, excellent matchup. No Khalil Herbert. He is the RB. Who else is going to be the RB1? We've seen anyone and everyone have strong games against that Vegas defense. So
yeah. You know what? Duh. I was thinking Royce the whole time because we've had 400
Royce
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll sit Javonte as well. Yeah, the Freeman or the Freeman. Yeah, Deontay. I completely agree. I was like, why are you picking Royce Freeman? I just kept staring at that. I'm like, do you love Royce Freeman? No, you don't. You like Deontay Foreman. I do too. All right. Blah 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 blah. Flex for. Sorry, I had to read through all this. Foreman or Lockett PPR.
I would still go with Lockett. I do like Foreman, but I would still go with Lockett.
Why wouldn't you pick Royce Freeman? Yeah, go Foreman as well. It's my dumb brain. Highest floor needed PPR. Pittman, Hunt, Gabe Davis, Henderson.
Your highest floor is now, man, this is tough because it's a bad matchup. The highest floor theoretically is Pittman.
It's easy, Pittman. If you're talking floor, this is Pittman.
It's just such a yeah,
without question, this is Pittman. But like your upside play is Gabe Davis.
Yeah,
that's your biggest upside play. So it's wide receiver either way. Deontay or Warren in PPR.
I like Deontay.
Yep, I like Royce Freeman too. Keontae Ingram or Josh Downs, half PPR. I purposely did that, everybody. So just
this one is. I can go with Josh Downs on this one.
Oh, okay.
It's close, man. It's close, especially in half PPR.
Yeah, I'm my old brain. I slide on like running back, so I'll go with Keontae Ingram in this one. Can you start Eli Mitchell even if CMC plays? No, you could, but I wouldn't.
If you are desperate at running back, if it's like a bye week and injuries, craziness, I can see where this game gets out of hand. And they say, okay, CMC, we don't need you in this, second half of the game in the third quarter, fourth quarter. So yeah, I can see where Eli Mitchell could have value.
How about this? This is mine. Ingram or Eli Mitchell? Keontae Ingram or Eli Mitchell?
Yeah, I would go with Ingram because at least we know for that for sure.
Okay. Oh, I thought I could get you with Eli Mitchell. What about Darrell Henderson or Eli Mitchell?
I would go with Eli Mitchell.
Okay, me too. All right, so that's like the place that we're at here. Stevenson or Brian Robinson, best RB2?
I would go with Brian Robinson.
Stevenson for me. Brian Robinson, just the usage hasn't been there. This is a good matchup for running, but he's like 10, 11 carries every single week. I'm going to go with Stevenson. Buys are killing me. Full PPR, James Cook or Jerome Ford?
Those aren't bad bye week options. James Cook, but again, if Kareem Hunt is out for me, I can lean towards going with Ford.
Yeah, I'd love to get that Kareem Hunt news. That one's killing me here. I'm going to go with James Cook because I love him. PPR, Puka, or we already had that question. Puka or Zay Flowers. If DK is out, would you play JSN or Josh Palmer? Full PPR. That's a good one.
Sorry, I got distracted. John Schefter said that Hunt is active. I like this. John Schefter.
I love John Schefter. Active. Okay. So guess what? My bet is back on. Under 55 rushing yards for Jerome Ford if he is there. This according to FantasyPros' own John Schefter. I will go under on Jerome Ford again. So, all right. So back to it. JSN or Josh Palmer?
Josh. Well, if DK is out, so okay, you can make that. If DK is out, I would go JSN.
Yeah, it is a little contingent here. If I want to play JSN if DK's out, but otherwise I really want to play Josh Palmer because Josh Palmer is a safer option. So that doesn't really help you. But yes, you could do the
late
JSN.
Games, so you're safe on that.
That's
so you
true.
don't have to make that choice now.
Jameson, Deontay, or Hunt in flex?
Deontay.
Deontay, I'm good with that. I'm going to start doing some scrolling here. This person, the Colonel is just saying hi, Tara and Welsh. You're going to get me every time when you say my name or you're nice to me or whatever. So do I start Rice over Metcalf, flex position, half PPR?
No, I would still go Rice over Metcalf.
Yeah. Because he's questionable. Even if he plays, he might be a little bit more banged up. It's it's a little dicey. Everyone knows with Mecole Hardman back, like they're gonna throw some stupid Mecole Hardman, target share in the red zone. He'll have like 8 catches or just 1 touchdown. It's gonna be something dumb that's gonna take away. So the volume's not there with Rice, but the Metcalf injury is a little worrisome.
That's true. He's just he's like the physical exception. Like DK injured is just like, if he's out there, he's good.
Yeah.
So it's still DK for me.
Okay. Flowers or London PPR?
It's a floor or ceiling play. The floor play, if your safe option is Flowers, your ceiling play is Linden.
Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any we haven't had. We've had a whole lot, which, by the way, you guys come back and listen. How about Rashad White or Jonathan Taylor, full PPR flex?
Jonathan Taylor. Yeah.
I will go Jonathan Taylor. And then final one here, Gibbs or DJ Moore?
Gibbs.
Okay, I will go with Gibbs as well. That is going to do it. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with us. Thank you to Jack Links sponsoring the episode, because there's no better way to enjoy game day with some Jack Links. Go and feed your wild side today. Go to jacklinks.com or find it at your local retailer today. You can also win yourselves a Christian Kirk jersey by subscribing and commenting. We talked to you about my playbook. We did all the stuff. We did all the things. Bam. It's time for you guys to go over to Betting Pros for the next half an hour to get the rest of your bets set. Go and do that. Subscribe to them. Watch that. You can check me and Joe Pisapia out later tonight after the afternoon games. We'll be breaking everything down leading into Sunday Night Football. And I got nothing else for you, man. I got nothing else for you. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you to Tara. It's Tara Time on Twitter. Tara's always killing it. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you to John Schefter for all the breaking news and all of the incredible work here producing this show. I am Chris Welsh. You can find me on Twitter at IsItTheWelsh. And friends, good luck in your week 7. We will be right back here live again next week. Until then, peace out. For Fantasy Pros, we're out.